Dear team, greetings to you, good morning. It's now 8:45 a.m. Moscow time, and I've decided to hold the first trading session. Today I will be conducting it with the help of my bot, which assists and suggests whether we are thinking correctly or incorrectly. Let's get started. The currency pair is Australian dollar to Canadian dollar. I immediately click start, select this currency pair, and choose the 1-minute time frame. What do I highlight next here? I highlight the level, and based on this level, I start analyzing. Here is this level. Here I would open a position for a decrease on the breakout of this level. But let's see if the bot will support me here or not. The bot says there's a slight delay here, let's wait. The bot says the signal is upward, and indeed I see that there will be a pullback. There it goes up. So I wanted to open a position on the breakout, but the bot says, on the contrary, there will be a pullback. Not considering this currency pair, let's move on. I'm looking for the next one, Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Same thing, I request the currency pair from the bot, and let's see if we can enter or not. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Waiting for the M1 time frame. You can do it a little differently. You can first check the bot and then make a decision based on that. That's also an option. Everyone should trade in the way that's most comfortable for them. Waiting for a response, Australian dollar, Japanese yen. As soon as the bot gives me a signal, I'll immediately check what its indicators show here. And then I'll immediately switch over to the currency pair right away and see if I can place my trust in the trend here or not. Look, the first indicator is clearly indicating that 76% is for an upward move. So the overall signal is pointing upward. The future movement of the chart, as you can see, is pointing down. That's a signal for a downward move. These vertical volumes here indicate that there will be an upward signal. But here, there isn't a crossover yet, like there is over here. That is, from oversold, the chart always moves toward overbought. From oversold to overbought. From oversold to overbought. From oversold to overbought. But there hasn't been a crossover yet, so this is also an upward signal. And according to the volumes, there's a level right here. And there's a level above as well. There's a wide histogram. But when the chart hits this wide histogram more than 3 times, that level will be broken. So I understand that right now, it's possible to enter upward. 3 minutes for an upward move. You can do it this way too. I'm marking the level with you. Here is one and here is the second level. So this is the level. The chart breaks through, moves upward, then corrects. I mark this level based on previous setups. A pullback to the next one. So I believe it's possible to move upward to the next level. The movement is stronger now. You can analyze it this way too. The whole trend is upward. The trend is upward. The channel of the uptrend suggests further upward movement. If, God forbid, there is a loss, I immediately cover it. I have a backup ready according to my trading system for 2.5, and I switch the currency pair. It happens that if, for example, news comes out about a currency pair, here are the news, I check here. Or if some other event happens, I immediately switch to a different currency pair. It can happen that even if you did everything right, did everything correctly as usual, there are times when you can simply end up with a loss just because there is news affecting you. Let's keep monitoring, or maybe the currency pair is currently very volatile or not suitable for your trading strategy. While this trade is ongoing, most likely it will end in a loss. I've pulled up something new, something interesting. Canadian dollar / Japanese yen. I click start, Canadian dollar / Japanese yen, time frame M1. For this currency pair, I would open an upward forecast, predicting a rise. But this time, not for $100, but for $250, I'll open the forecast. I'm waiting, let's see how that first forecast closes. But just in case, I'll take out insurance on this currency pair. Let's open it. Here we have a signal down, a signal up, a signal down, a signal up. It's 2 to 2. I don't analyze currency pairs like this. That is, when all the indicators are pointing in one direction, or at least 3 indicators are pointing the same way, then I enter the trade. But when there's this kind of uncertainty, I try not to analyze the currency pair. Yesterday I was trading the Euro-Canadian dollar. Yesterday's trading session was in the evening, right before bed. There were 3 clear wins. There's a video on the channel, please check it out. I took 3 clear wins and left. But today, as you can see, the first one will most likely be a loss. But later I'll show you how I use hedging strategies. If you think that Every day you'll have clean trades, flawless trades. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Here too, I don't see a really clear entry point. Here, with the Australian dollar to Japanese yen, unfortunately, I end up with a very strong, significant loss, but that's fine, no problem. I immediately close this currency pair, and now I need to move on and find a trade where I can use a hedge. I'll use this hedge to recover the losses we've incurred. We're looking for a currency pair. Sometimes it's easy to find one right away, and sometimes it can be tricky and takes a long time to search. So it all depends on the trading session. And also keep in mind, please, that if, like right now, as I'm trading, there are no entry opportunities, if there aren't any, for example, on the Euro British Pound, then you can simply take a break, literally for 30 minutes, read a book, take a walk for an hour or two, and then come back. To start the trading session here, I would open a position downwards. I would open a sell on the breakout of this level, on the Euro going down. I'm urgently waiting for a response from the bot on the British Pound. As soon as the bot gives a 100 signal, I'll enter right away. Look, this is the future. The chart is showing a slight downward movement here, and in terms of volume, there's emptiness. 3 signals for a decline. Let me enter a sell here. The EUR GBP pair is going down. But first, I'll break it down on the broker and show you why I entered a sell here. It's a very strong movement. This is an imbalance, beginning and middle. In 90% of cases, after an imbalance movement, the first touch leads to a pullback. But with further touches testing this level, we usually see a breakout. In other words, the chart can't give more than 3 touches. And the chart returns to that area. It moves back toward the prices where that strong movement originally started. That's why I understand. The first pullback happened, the second, the third pullback, and then the fourth touch. I'm expecting a breakout of the imbalance in action. If you want to learn more about imbalance in detail, here's the Binary School website where we trade. Regarding the forecasts, thank you very much for your feedback. Take the trader's course, and here you can find information about imbalance. Here it is. Please take a look and you'll see that it will be very useful. So I expect that the movement will go downward here, but I still need confirmation. No problem, we'll get confirmation using the bot. Here is this indicator. It gives a signal to go down. The future movement of the chart. It shows a slight downward movement. The signal to go down. Look, a wide histogram. A wide histogram, and there's empty space between them. There is a level here, but this level doesn't have enough strength to cause a pullback. But even if there were a wide histogram here and it really was strong, there have been 3 touches. We have that. The 4th touch is a breakout. That is, because there is empty space here, the chart should break through this level. So we already have 3 signals for a downward movement. Here there's a signal up, here there's a signal up. So it's 3 against 2. It's not 2 against 2. That's why I entered for a downward move here. First, I noticed an imbalance. Imbalance is a very good and strong tool. Consider it for yourself. Look, strong movement upward, correction to the middle, then another strong movement upward, another strong movement upward, correction, pullback. But you see, it breaks through and goes in the direction where the imbalance started, where this strong movement began. Look, according to previous history, this works very well. 48 seconds left, and if everything goes well, even despite that small percentage, 70, I recommend it. Open currency pairs with more than 70%. Less than 70% makes no sense because the insurance won't work. That is, the payout will be small for this currency pair. And even with such a small percentage, we will get $180, that's net. But we will subtract those $100 from this currency pair, which didn't go through, which after a strong downward movement is now still going up, just as we predicted, so our net profit will be $80. But as they say, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I haven't closed the currency pair yet. Let me wait. That's why I made a hedge. Not only did I recover my losses, but I also ended up in profit. There's a profit, $180. Awesome. I'm expecting a further breakout. This was a good trade. We corrected the loss I had. And now we're in the black. Look, the next currency pair, Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. I requested it earlier on the bot, but there wasn't really a confident entry point. Let's see what we have here now. And let this currency pair be the last one because my trading session is really tough. I'm opening a position downwards. We have a white level here. What can we see about this white level? 2-3. There have been 3 touches of this level. 1, 2, 3. There have been 3 pullbacks. 4, a touch the 4th approach to the level. I'm expecting a breakout. There's also a higher level, same situation. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm expecting a breakout. And let's see what confirmation the bot gives us. There's something I'd like to say about the bot. We can see that we have a signal on this indicator. Down here, and here there's a white histogram. But if the chart keeps hitting the white histogram, that's a strong level. But a strong level will eventually be broken. There are 3 confirmations that it will go down. The 4th confirmation is that the upper one will go. A staircase of green candles going up means the upper one will go. And well, there's no confirmation here, it's just standing in the middle. 4 confirmations for a decline. You know what I wanted to tell you? In any case, you'll have weeks, 7 days. We trade 5 days on regular currency pairs according to forecasts. So you'll have days when everything just falls out of your hands, when the trading session is tough, or God forbid, you had an argument with someone, or you're worried about something, or the day just isn't going well. That's normal. We're all human, we're not robots. We're susceptible to external factors and influences. For this reason, if you have a day like that, I recommend that you always, for example, before you open, if you make 5 trades in one trading session, like for example in a session, how many did I open? 2 trades, 3? And if you have such a difficult day, open half as many trades, or you can even skip trading altogether if you don't have any deadlines. You can really simplify your trading session. For example, I usually open about 30 trades a day, but if I realize I'm having a tough day, everything is slipping through my fingers, nothing is working out, I'm inattentive, distracted, making mistakes. Instead of 30 trades, make 10 trades, take a small profit, exit and call it a day. That's what I recommend. It's very good advice, take it to heart. Because if you ignore this, our internal state directly affects how we analyze and how we trade. I'm telling you, that's 100% true. Because I always made this mistake myself and then I finally noticed it. I would have been very glad if someone had told me about this. Someday, well, you see, learn from my mistakes. No one ever told me about this. 39 seconds left. The breakout we've been waiting for is finally happening. And that's great. Because of the news, sometimes the breakout takes a long time to happen. For example, there should already be a breakout here, but it's not happening. Due to the news, there's a prolonged correction, and only then does the breakout occur. But still, the breakout will happen. 22 seconds left. Although on a day like today, when I seem to attract these kinds of moments, maybe at the very last second it could close in the negative. It can happen. That's why on days like this, it's better to just take a break. And if, for example, your trading session worked yesterday but isn't working today, here we close in profit, great, then it's all because of the news. It's just keep an eye on this tab and make sure there's at least 15 to 30 minutes before the next news release. Wishing us profit and good luck. Trade only for profit and learn from my mistakes. This was AB with you. Goodbye, everyone.